Hello and welcome. Let's take a moment right here, right now, to do a quick audit of your mind. Think back over the last hour. What has been bouncing around in your head? The tasks you need to do? A worry about a future event? A replayed conversation from yesterday? Maybe a song you can't get out of your head? If your mental landscape feels a bit like a crowded, noisy stock exchange floor, with voices shouting different things, and you can't hear the one voice that actually matters, your own, then you are experiencing what is, for most people, the default state of the human mind. It's chaotic, it's reactive, and it's often working against us. This is the fundamental problem that Darius Foroux addresses with surgical precision in his essential guide, Think Straight. This book is not another volume in the self-help genre that promises to unlock cosmic secrets. It is far more practical and, frankly, more revolutionary than that. It is an operating manual for your most valuable and most misused asset, your ability to think. The central thesis is as powerful as it is simple. Our lives are direct outcomes of our thoughts. If our thinking is cluttered, anxious, and scattered, our lives will feel the same way. But if we can learn to think with clarity, purpose, and intention, to think straight, then we can design a life of purpose, productivity, and profound peace. So, let's embark on a deep dive into the flow of this transformative book. We will move from understanding the problem to implementing the practical solution, and finally, to building a lifelong system for mental clarity. Art 1. The Diagnosis, the Tyranny of Uncontrolled Thought. Foroux doesn't mince words. The first part of the book is a stark mirror, forcing us to confront the reality of our mental disarray. We are not by nature clear thinkers. We are associative thinkers. Our brains are wired to jump from one idea to the next, often down paths of fear, negativity, and distraction. He compellingly argues that we live most of our lives on autopilot. We react to emails, we react to news alerts, we react to other people's moods and demands. Our thinking is not proactive, it's a constant, frantic reaction to external stimuli. This state of reactivity is what creates the three primary thought parasites that drain our energy and potential. The worry loop. This is the habit of catastrophizing the future. We spend countless hours building elaborate, negative stories about events that have a very low probability of ever occurring. We feel the stress and anxiety of these fictional scenarios as if they were real, paying an emotional tax on a disaster that hasn't happened. Foroux points out that worry is not preparation. Preparation is actionable. Worry is just mental torture, the complaint cycle. This is the focus on everything that is wrong, unfair, or outside of our control. It's the soundtrack of the victim mentality. When we complain, we reinforce the neural pathways that tell us we are powerless. We hand over agency for our happiness to external circumstances. Every complaint is a silent declaration. I am at the effect of my world, not the cause of it. The doubt spiral. This is the internal saboteur. It's the voice that says, "You're not good enough. You'll probably fail. Who are you to try that?" This isn't humility. It's a cognitive distortion that prevents us from taking the very risks that lead to growth and fulfillment. The critical first step, Foroux insists, is to recognize a profound distinction. You are not your thoughts. You are the observer of your thoughts. Your mind is a factory that produces thoughts, many of which are flawed, biased, or just plain useless. You are the quality control manager. Your job is not to identify with every product that rolls off the assembly line. Your job is to inspect them and decide which ones are worth keeping and acting upon. Part 2. The prescription. The practical toolkit for straight thinking. Knowing the problem is only half the battle. The true value of Think Straight lies in its relentless practicality. Foroux provides a clear, actionable toolkit to move from chaotic thinking to deliberate thinking. This process can be broken down into 2 parallel tracks: internal shift and external action. Track A. The internal shift, retraining your brain. This is the work you do inside your own head. It's about changing your relationship with your thoughts. Cultivate objective observation. Learn to watch your thoughts without judgment. When the thought, "This project is going to be a disaster," arises, don't fuse with it. Don't become the thought. Instead, observe it. Literally say to yourself, "I am having the thought that this project will be a disaster." This creates psychological distance. From this place of distance, you can then engage your rational mind. You can ask the crucial questions. Is this absolutely true? What is the evidence? What are more likely balanced outcomes? Anchor yourself in the present moment. Anxiety and regret cannot survive in the present. They are ghosts of the future and the past. Foroux advocates for a disciplined focus on the now. What is the one thing you can do, right at this moment, to move forward? When you find yourself worrying about a presentation next week, bring yourself back to the present. Can you work on one slide for that presentation now? Action in the present moment is the antidote to anxiety about the future. Become the gatekeeper of your mind. Your brain is a sponge, constantly absorbing information. Foroux argues that we must be ruthlessly selective about what we allow in. The endless scroll of social media, the 24/7 news cycle of negativity, the gossip at the water cooler, this is all mental pollution. It directly shapes the quality of your thoughts. To think straight, you must consume straight. This means intentionally feeding your mind with books, podcasts, conversations, and media that educate, inspire, and challenge you to be better. Track B. The external action, making thinking tangible. Clear thinking is meaningless if it stays trapped in your head. It must be translated into the physical world through concrete actions. The power of writing, the cornerstone habit. This is, without a doubt, the most emphasized tool in Foroux's arsenal. He doesn't just recommend journaling. He presents it as the fundamental practice for straight thinking. Why? Because writing is thinking on paper. The act of externalizing your thoughts forces clarity. A tangled, vague anxiety in your mind becomes a specific, manageable problem when written down. You can dissect it, you can analyze its components, and you can devise a solution. A daily brain dump where you write down everything on your mind is like a system reboot for your cognitive computer. It clears the cache and closes the unnecessary programs. Decisive action over perfect deliberation. Indecision is a quagmire for the mind. The analysis paralysis loop, weighing pros and cons endlessly, is a massive source of mental clutter and stress. Foroux's philosophy is to make the best decision you can with the information available today, and then commit to it fully. He argues that the momentum and learning gained from a committed decision are almost always more valuable than waiting for a mythical, perfect choice. A good plan executed now is better than a perfect plan executed next week. Action precedes motivation. We are culturally conditioned to believe that we need to feel motivated before we can act. Foroux turns this on its head. He demonstrates that motivation is a result of action, not its prerequisite. You don't wait to feel motivated to clean the garage. You start by taking out the trash, and the act of starting creates a sense of accomplishment, which then fuels the motivation to continue. Thinking straight means acting your way into a new way of thinking and feeling. Part 3. The System. Building a life of sustained clarity. Think straight is not about a one-time mental detox. It's about installing a new operating system that prevents the clutter from building up again. Foroux provides a simple but powerful habitual framework for this: the daily debrief. At the end of each day, invest 10 to 15 minutes with a notebook. Ask and answer 3 questions. What were my key wins today? What challenges did I face? And what did I learn from them? What is the one most important thing I will accomplish tomorrow? This practice turns every day into a learning loop, ensuring continuous improvement and preventing the same mistakes from repeating. The weekly strategy session. Every Sunday, or the start of your work week, take 30 minutes to look at the big picture. Review your long-term goals. What are the 3 to 5 most critical priorities for this week that will move you toward those goals? Then, and this is key, schedule them in your calendar. This is the practice of being proactive instead of reactive. You are not leaving your week to chance or to the demands of others. You are deliberately designing it. The ritual of deep work. In a world of constant interruption, the ability to focus is a superpower. Thoreau is a staunch advocate for what Cal Newport calls deep work, uninterrupted, concentrated effort on a single cognitively demanding task. This means blocking out time in your calendar, turning off all notifications, and working on one thing and one thing only for a predetermined period, e.g., 60 to 90 minutes. This is where true, high-value creation happens. And it is only possible with a mind that has been trained to think straight. The compounding return on a clear mind. When you commit to this system, the benefits are not merely incremental. They are transformative and compound over time. Unshakable inner calm. You will no longer be a puppet jerked around by every passing worry or negative thought. You develop a foundational resilience. Challenges become problems to be solved, not crises to be endured. Exponential productivity. When your mind is clear, your actions become focused. You stop multitasking and start making significant progress on what truly matters. You accomplish more in 2 hours of deep work than in 8 hours of distracted, cluttered effort. Profound self-trust. As you consistently make decisions and follow through on them, you build a deep-seated confidence in your own judgment. You trust yourself to handle whatever life throws at you. The reclamation of your time and life. Ultimately, thinking straight is about freedom. It's the freedom to direct your own life, to spend your precious time and energy on what you value most, rather than wasting it on the mental chaos that has been running the show by default. The final word. Your mind, your masterpiece. Darius Foroux, Think Straight, is a manifesto for personal sovereignty. It is a call to arms to take back control of the one thing you have ultimate authority over: your own thinking. The path it outlines is simple, but it demands discipline. It requires you to be the adult in the room of your own mind. It asks you to show up every day with your notebook and your intent and do the work. But consider the alternative: a life lived as a passive reactor, a leaf blown by the winds of random thoughts and external events. That is a far more arduous and exhausting way to live. The choice is yours. You can continue to be a tenant in the chaotic house of your mind, or you can become its architect. You can start today. Pick up a pen. Write one clear thought. Take one decisive action. That is the first and most important step to thinking straight and to building the life you are truly capable of living.